Guys, it is Grant Guy here today with my very special co-hosts,
Jordan Hutta.
And Jacob.
This is Gaming Adventure.
Yeah. I should do the full thing. Yeah.
Guys, today we're talking about live piece one action, or net piece, flicks piece, if you will.
Yeah.
From the creators of, yes, CSI Miami, as well as, I believe, WandaVision and like two other Disney Plus shows.
Wasn't it
yeah.
Iron Fist or Luke Cage?
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
Luke Cage, Iron Fist. It was like all the Marvel Netflix stuff.
Yeah.
Those are the people that are doing the One Piece live action. So, needless to say, I was a little skeptical going into this one. I really liked the Luke Cage show. Never thought this would be in comparison to One Piece, but Iron Fist was hot garbage. But expectations, what did you guys think going into this, Jacob?
Yeah, so my expectations, I trust the author of One Piece, and he was writing, guys, this is good. This is good. The actor for Luffy is God tier, and I'm just saying we made sure Luffy's character was good. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So I read that. I'm like, all right, that means Luffy's character is good. That means it's not going to be a bad show. It'll be decent at worst, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And then,
100%.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay,
That's the biggest thing.
Now, guys, just so you know, the dynamic today is on my left. Jacob knows all of One Piece. He's read it like 3 times, watched
true.
it, played a couple of the. You've probably played a couple of the games.
I played the Game Boy game.
Yeah,
It was like for 4 kids. It's Zolo in it. It's cursed.
Yep.
One Piece
Solo.
Odyssey. Yep.
I remember. Goku. It used to be called like Zero at one point in like
what?
some movie I watched. It was like one of the very first movies. They're like, nah, kids are gonna like call him Zero. Give him one of those weird names.
That would ruin it.
yeah. And then for me, I'm like halfway through the anime right now. I have not read the manga. I've played no games. I've not played a single game, but I'm like halfway there with the One Piece lore. And Jory here. Jory, tell us about your One Piece backstory.
I know absolutely nothing. I've read 0 pages of 0 manga.
What?
I think the extent of One Piece probably comes from a couple openings that I've listened to in Jacob's car and watching him play his Odyssey, right?
Yeah. You saw me play that.
I watched him play Odyssey for.
Was it the desert area?
Yeah, of course. It was definitely.
It was Alabasta.
It's always Alabasta. Rip.
Dude, nice. So yeah, guys, we have completely different perspectives on One Piece going into this live action show. Well, Jory, what did you think going into this one, knowing nothing about One Piece? How did you think it was going to be?
So obviously the list of expectations I had were going to be vastly different from you two.
Yeah.
I was just seeing this. I almost went into it looking at it as this is an original piece. Like I wasn't based off of anything. Like I looked at it as, oh, this is an original show from Netflix.
Look at it from the perspective of this isn't even a thing.
As a literal novice to the series, literal like a baby seeing it for the first time essentially.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of going into it with open expectations.
Dude, hell yeah! And I sort of had a mix of both. A little optimistic, but to be honest, with the recent, well, not so recent at this point, Cowboy Bebop. That's, as far as I know, that's Netflix's only other anime live action adaptation. That one was very mid. So going off of that, I thought this one would be okay, maybe, but it already looked more impressive in the trailers than Cowboy Bebop did, so I was a little bit more hopeful for that. So before we get into the spoilers, of course, because, guys, we've watched the entire series, all 8 episodes, 8 hours in total, my dude. So what is your guys' spoiler-free review for the show? What is your out of 5?
Okay. Should it be kind of quick, I guess?
Just quick. What you think in general?
Summarize. If you want a fun show that isn't afraid to be goofy, I would recommend it. And I give it, I would say, okay, for an anime adaptation, it's God tier. For a TV show, it's fun. So I would say like 4 out of 5. Maybe,
Okay.
No, 4.5 out of 5.
4.5. Okay,
Yeah.
Joey.
I would that's pretty good. I'd give it a 4 goofy Luffys out of 5 goofy Luffys.
Dude,
Yo.
fair enough. I will also give it a spoiler-free 4 out of 5. So let's just get into it, guys. Starting off with actually not Romance Dawn. We start right off in the boat. I mean, we go back to Romance Dawn for a bit, but so the first step that we have, just the first episode, is basically starting off on Alvida's ship. We get to meet Kobe, and Zoro is also introduced. Do they meet up in this episode?
Yeah.
This is a very intro-heavy episode 1. So we get
I think they meet for sure. Luffy and Zoro. Do they? Yeah. When's the bar happen? I think the bar scene happens when all the main players of the series show up there. Like Buggy's pirates are there.
Yep, so Buggy's pirates are at the bar. So basically, Kobe and Luffy arrive from the same boat.
Yep.
Zoro gets there on his own after doing a cool little fight before that. Nami's there and the Marines are there. So everyone's in this bar at the same exact time.
Which I thought that's cool.
Yeah. Well, what'd you think of Alvida and Alvida's ship?
Alvida? All right.
Yeah.
Alvida was fine. I mean, they did her well. They did her justice.
Not fat enough.
She needs to be a unit, like freaking. From Spider-Verse, freaking. I forgot the guy's name.
The Kingpin.
Kingpin, yeah.
Yeah.
She needs a take of the screen.
Right.
But, all right. Alvida was good. This comes into the first issue we were talking about, where you can really pick who the main characters are, because who's a pirate captain? It's just like generic pirates, and standing in the middle of them is like some, purple colored, like fat chick who's like, she's just like dressed differently. It's
100%. I think that's definitely a pretty a meaty issue. I don't think it ruins it, but it does definitely kind of take you out of the world.
Yeah.
If you guys watch the first episode or even just the trailer, you'll notice that, as you said, there's this dorky kid with these massive, comically large purple glasses with purple hair.
Yeah.
And
pink hair.
Amidst all
hair.
of these NPC Pirates of the Caribbean extras.
Looks like they were ripped straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean and slapped on there. And she starts interrogating this dude who's got this moldy beard, and he's like, I would never have said anything or something like that. And I'm like, it just looks so out of place. But so then we get Luffy coming aboard, and there's the famous Alvida fight. So to be honest, I wasn't huge on Alvida, only because I felt like dude, maybe I was huge on her, bro. I just thought that she was very one tone, one note.
Okay.
At the beginning of the anime, she's very what the who called me fat?
Yeah.
Fat thing doesn't have to be there, of course, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's just that you could tell she's pissed. I can understand the abuse that Kobe undertakes under her.
Yep.
But in this one, she was just kind of really? So, Kobe, you are weak, and you are nothing. And I'm like, it's more mental abuse. It's kind of just like a bad girlfriend. I don't know. Jory, what do you think about the Alvida stuff?
So, I don't know what she looks like from the anime or anything, but I picture very unique art style that the One Piece has, so she's probably grotesque. I mean, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And so, it just looked like it was just a big lady.
Yeah.
Just a big lady pirate. And you know what I mean? I didn't her ship was all heart themed and sparkly and stuff, but it's I didn't really understand why. I didn't know if there was if she had any abilities around that or something. I don't know. It just felt I just feel like painting my ship pink. Yeah. That's kind of the way it seemed, which is fine. I just didn't know it was important to anything.
Well, to the problem that we had in terms of things standing out too much, and the environment not matching. Did you feel that way, or was that kind of
There was definitely some moments where it's like, oh, I bet they're gonna go talk to that person with the blue hair over there. you know what I mean? So it's there's definitely some moments like that.
And it's same with the in this sentence, Gold Rogers execution, not Goldie.
That was an interesting change.
Yeah.
I didn't know they changed that.
Dude, yeah. It's a secret, bro.
Oh,
it goes to a shot of the crowd, and it's very clear the difference between like there's a bunch of like normally dressed people like, oh my gosh, but then you have a dude with like friggin' spiky hair and like a very massive outfit, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if he'll come into play later. But they're not all like that. I would say all the Marines fit in super well in terms of their outfits and all that. Agreed. But I would say it's not really gonna. It only is really obvious at the very beginning of the show when you first start seeing people. Other than that, you do get used to it. So I would say it does take you out of the world building for a split second. But other than that, the rest of the episodes, I didn't really feel too much that way. But anyway, continuing on to the bar, we get a little bit of action here. I would say this is our first little bit of real action. So I just want to give it up for the choreographer.
Yeah, I thought it was good,
Hot dang. There's some good, especially the sword play.
Yeah, Zoro was cool, which is essential, I think, in my opinion, to have Zoro be cool.
100%.
He was like, flinging his sword around, sliding around. He even used his mouse sword to like almost cut someone. That was crazy.
Yeah. and it goes a lot harder in this one too. Zoro straight up cuts a dude in half.
Yeah. That was freaking crazy.
Like, holy
dude,
crap.
and they actually do kill people in this too.
Definitive right there. Like there are people who like get up at the end of an arc that are supposed to, but in this version, it's like, nope, they're dead. And I can respect that.
Like Mary from the Syrup Village arc, he just freaking died.
Yeah, right. And I feel like to an extent in the anime, when people don't die, at least at the very beginning of One Piece, not at all where I'm at right now, which is past Fishman Island, and a little bit before that. But it takes away some of that tension, because you're like, oh, well, no one's actually gonna die, so I don't really worry about their fates at all. But in this one, people are actually kind of dropping off a little bit, so I feel that a bit more. So, but and then we get them invading the Marine base. We get to meet Axehand Morgan and whatever his son's name that I keep forgetting. What's his name? Helmeppo.
Yeah, and they're actually invading the base to get a treasure map to the Grand Line, which isn't really an anime thing.
Yeah, that's
too much.
Completely new. So
I think because they have to get a log pose, and they go to Log Town for that. I don't even know where they get the log pose from.
Yeah, it's from Logtown.
Yeah. So like
that's what points them toward the reverse mountain.
Yep. And then in this show, it's we need a map to the Grand Line or for the Grand Line.
I'm pretty sure it's for, because when they show it shows the whole Grand Line, or the first part of the Grand Line, and then just the East Blue. So I think it's more, maybe it's just how to get there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I guess the treasure map is, so then they have like everyone has to target Luffy, I guess. Like they wanted to write a reason for Garp and Kobe to be chasing Luffy. And I guess all the other pirates would be interested in Luffy, versus Luffy showing up and then like dealing with the problem, I guess.
Right, because I guess in the original, it was just sort of like he's kind of just coincidentally going from place to place. And this one sets up more of a reason for him going from place to place, and why people are following behind him. So I can respect that. One big thing with this show is that it does, it has its own personality. Like it takes it's not just a recreation of the anime. It completely takes its own route with things like Arlong showing up at Baratier, never happens. Don Krieg getting killed off before Baratier. Baratier was probably some of the most changes.
They did a lot of changes
I would say. It
took place there with the Baratier.
100%, and kind of just fast forwarding to the end of the episode, nothing too much happens until the final fight. Or is there anything else that you were...
Well, I do want to go back to the point I was saying with the treasure map real quick.
Oh, yeah, of course.
In the beginning of the anime, Luffy isn't even, like, discovered by the government, or they're like, he's this freaking, why do we even have to deal with him? He's not a threat.
Yeah.
And then, in this, you get the Vice Admiral Garp going, we need to get him right now, get him, go, go.
Yeah.
Even though, like, Luffy didn't even establish himself as a threat, like, at all. You know?
Right. That was definitely a part that didn't make any sense because Garp, as we find out, is the Vice Admiral. All the Marines.
Yep.
I get the family bond where he's like, frickin' Luffy or whatever. Or he's like, I didn't want him to be a pirate. But the fact that, like,
Yep.
that'd be like if you walked down the street and stole a pack of gum from a Dollar General.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, the vice president of the United States is like tanking towards you.
Dude, yeah.
Like, whoa. Send the cops, I get it, but calm down a second.
But, I guess then, it shows how much the Marines don't want pirates to find the One Piece, you know?
Yeah.
I guess it shows that aspect, but I don't know.
I just feel like there would be bigger priorities. Like, even
there's
Mihawk
definitely
is...
bigger priorities.
Right. It's like you got Buggy around, blowing up a whole town. And the Marines only showed up after that whole scenario, you know, and you have the Syrup Village stuff, and, you know, Usopp was like, the pirates are coming. They were like, we'll send one of the cadets out there.
Yeah.
I was like, no, nothing for that.
Nothing? Yeah.
I got a quick question. They, you know, when he's knocked out on the table, you know, he's just zonked out. One of the, there's the term for them, the cat.
Miabin brothers.
Yes.
Or not brothers, it's Miabin gang, I think, in this one.
One of the gang members, the girl, she's like, he ate enough to kill a sea beast. And he just, you know, gets up later and then just vomits. Okay, but, like, is that explained? Like, has he ever eaten something like that and he's fine? Like, why is he okay?
I know you're going to say it.
Actually, Jory, that doesn't make any sense. Because you fool! There's actually a moment in an arc called Impel Down where there is a literal poisonous like he's made out of poison goop, and he just starts slapping Luffy with poison.
Yep.
And Luffy's like, he's screaming. He's like, ah!
Is it like acidic?
Yeah, it's like burning at him,
yeah.
and he's like limp. He's like shaking, and then when he finally gets the antidote for the poison, even that makes him like scream in agony because it hurts so much. So
he should have died.
So him eating a whole entire bowl of poison
pudding.
He became immune ever since that trauma.
Yeah, like there's a moment afterwards where he gets hit with poison, and they're like, "Why didn't that affect you?" And he's like, "Oh, because I was doused with poison or whatever." So I was thinking that they were gonna do something like that, but like really early in this one.
Make him immune to poison just cause.
Just for the hell of it.
Yeah, but no, he freaking passes out.
Yeah.
Which
I don't know of any poison that makes you pass out. You know, aside from
Roofies.
Yeah, roofies. I guess, you know, actually that would have probably made more sense if he was like, I'll give her the roof, I'll roofie
like
her.
1/64 of a roofie,
I'll give her
and then she'll be weak.
every day, yeah.
Yeah.
And this anti-coughing syrup. So every now and then she does a little...
Oh yeah, so
sorry.
That's technically
you need more tea.
microdosing, right? He's microdosing.
Yeah, it's microdosing. Yeah. But then Luffy just...
macro
doses on some roofies.
We
and
call that overdosing.
Yeah.
I like macro
It looks like he macrodosed.
He what?
All right, let's go back to episode 2 though, real quick.
Yeah. So, well, first off, episode 1. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Okay. All right, last time episode 1, I keep talking about it. All right, and we're covering a lot of stuff in this series, but I know it's a thing where they take the camera and they want to make Axe-Hand Morgan look big, so they shoot up looking at him.
Yeah.
But they do that, like, a little too much and way too close in on his face.
Like, you guys know when you're on Facebook and you see, like, mothers in their 30s and 40s, like, it's kind of like those profile pictures where it's, like, really close to the face.
What about the one with the GoPro, like, right under his chin?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
I'm 35, have 7 kids. praise Jesus. Like it was kind of like one of those shots, and they do that one like a lot.
I have an axe for a hand.
Yeah. Because I think there were quite a few moments where they were trying to make like anime-esque shots. Like I noticed there was one point where I think it was Sanji in Arlong Park, and he was like hopping over some stones, and the camera was actually. I'll try to find the clip and put it here. But the camera was doing this. It was going wow, wow, wow. Every time he stepped on a rock, he's like step. I just thought that was really weird. I was like, probably wasn't necessary.
Yeah, and then like they also want to make it like the anime because they also do this thing where they like slide in like 3 boxes of people's faces for reactions. You know?
Yes.
That's like an anime kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah. All 3 of them show up. Ready.
Yeah, maybe they just want to replicate the anime, but they should like watch shows like Breaking Bad and copy that.
Yeah.
What if there's a GoPro on X-Hand Morgan's axe? Like it's a GoPro, like.
God, that would have been so
and then it's
funny.
pointed at his face. That'd be a better shot than like.
So you just see fuzzy shots of all the actors like.
I would have if I was the director. I would have used that idea when he's like chopping the door down.
Oh,
So
dude,
it's like-
you can see the effect of like the.
The camera's
like
like going further and further into the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Until you can see through it.
But yeah, there's definitely quite a few moments like that where I love how the show has its own personality, but there are quite a few times where it's like, okay, watch the anime. Okay, let's try that.
Yeah, it needs to like.
I think they need to cut that.
Yeah, they need like
don't do that.
a guy, not a yes man. They need like a no man who's like a good director or like knows how shots work. He's like, no, that's bad. Yeah.
Literally just walk into the studio, watch an episode, 35. No.
Yeah.
Can you explain, sir? No.
No.
No. Luffy shows up. No.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Like, okay, sir, we'll write him out somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, all right, episode 2.
Episode 2.
Foggy, which what island is he on again?
He's on Orange Town.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
he captured Orange Town, right?
Yeah, he captured Orange Town. He built a circus and all that. But first things first, we got to talk about a scene that Jory and I quite love that you missed.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They were gassed. And then what did Luffy decide to do?
I honestly don't remember.
He deep-throated the map.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
I think Joy was with me. We were making root beer.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, they get the map from the first episode for the Grand Line, and Luffy takes it after he's like, oh, I'm being gassed. And he eats the thing. And it was like, holy.
Throat goats the map.
Yeah, seriously.
And the one very minor thing I noticed is I was like, I feel like if I was a rubber man and I wanted to eat something to protect it, because he was like doing the sword swelling thing where he had his neck straight.
Okay,
He was like putting it down. I feel like if I was directing it, I'd just be like, all right, just shove it in. Where like the map's not actually
Sideways,
be
worst
there.
way ever. It's going like this, and he gets to go down his throat.
Yeah. Just for like the fun of it, where it's like he's like, and then it's like.
That would be so
Jerry
gross.
after
That'd be funny,
eating a
though.
block of cheese. It's just the shape of the cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was like, like perfect.
Yeah.
Squidward with the fork.
Which, all right, can we talk about the rubber powers and how they look too? By the way.
Yes, there were.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty iffy overall.
I think it's iffy as well because, all right, I think in the anime it makes sense. He usually works with the physics. He goes, all right, I need to punch that. I'm gonna fling my arm up. I'm gonna use momentum and like get some reach. But in this one, like Alvida swings with her club and he goes like that with his stomach.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, how can you bend your he's like Plastic Man from DC, not like a Rubber Man, and not like. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I think that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
I just feel like in the anime you really see the rubberness of it.
Yeah.
Just from like the little vibrations in the arm or something. I feel like this one was a little too.
Mr. Fantastic.
A little too Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Where
too Elastigirl.
Exactly. It felt too stiff. Is the word that I'm thinking of. Like when he goes in for a punch, it's very like straight back. Straightforward, but I feel like in the anime, it's very like it kind of like winds up a little bit,
Yeah.
and then as it hits, it still has a bit of recoil, like in the back of his arm.
Yep.
So I feel like it was missing that a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like kind of iconic. Maybe I'm just capping, but like when Luffy's arm comes back, it's like
There's a bit
bam,
of
he catches it, and it's like
Yeah,
that's sound effect.
100%.
Yeah.
You're capping.
like wait.
You're capping, man.
And there were a few moments, especially in episode 2, where I thought that the usage didn't make as much sense. Like, for example, there's one part where he's fighting Buggy, and they're both on the ground. What were the 2 items? It was the straw hat and the map, right?
Yep, yep.
And so instead of like stretching his arm and getting both of them, he's like army crawling on the ground. I was like, wouldn't he just Can you just do that?
It was winded from the water.
True. But then there was also the moment
Buggy
where
could have with his hands though. On the other side.
And Buggy could have been like, oh, pop off the hand. He goes over there.
Yeah,
He could have got both of them at the same time.
Right, like
He's got
both
2
of them had
hands.
vital options
Yeah.
of reaching things.
Yep.
And then Nami, earlier in the episode, takes off Luffy's hat and throws it in the air. Instead of just like waiting for it to come back down, he's like, rubber powers.
My hat.
Yeah, and I guess I don't mind that as much because that is definitely, it's just instinct.
Yeah.
I guess because it's like, oh, just grab it real quick.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's the reveal for Buggy. But
Yep. So then Buggy sees his power, and the whole time they're in a big top tent.
Yep.
And then there's like an audience of the captured village who's like forced to laugh at Buggy's jokes, basically.
Yeah.
Or they're forced to watch.
Which I don't think was a thing in the anime. Yeah,
Nope.
like he ransacked the village, but it was kind of just to do it because it was fun.
Yeah, and then like,
Or whatever.
isn't he like kind of just chilling by like the port or something, just like by the side of the
Yeah, he's just kind of like
somewhere?
by the port, and then
Yeah.
because the mayor comes along, and he's like, "Oh, you fricked up the town."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah, which I actually liked what they did with it because like they capture Luffy and Zoro in the anime, they get put in cages and cannons are just pointed at them. Which Buggy Ball's iconic. Which I think he did use a Buggy Ball, right?
He did use a buggy.
All right,
ball.
that's good. Yeah, I missed that. I heard it though.
Yep.
And then like in this one, Luffy gets trapped in a like Houdini type. They try to escape from this. If they put a
Glass.
straitjacket on Luffy,
Yeah,
that would-
Glass friggin' tank.
glass box with water filling it. Yep.
Just has it offhand.
Why did a
I dig
straitjacket and put Luffy in there? That'd be kind of fun. Like,
Oh,
just to, like,
dude,
escape,
yeah.
like, oh, no.
it. Yeah, just use the
Yeah.
little part of his arm sticking out to make a loop.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, fight that way.
Yeah. And then Zoro gets captured on his, like, you know, those wheels that spin, and then he gets knives thrown at him, which that guy's either, you know, like we were saying, the worst knife thrower or the best one because he missed every shot. Which when was he gonna kill Zoro? I actually he wanted to scare Zoro, and then Zoro never gets scared. So.
Yeah, and did they? I don't even think they really fought after that,
No.
unless it was to the
Nami
side.
just gets knocks him out.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. But Buggy is a reoccurring character, especially in these episodes. Like normally he's kind of just out of it until later on. They throw him in for quite a bit in this version.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Nami up until this point has been like a badass with her staff, which I don't know if I like. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's like, where did she learn those very
Yeah. And then like
strong skills?
she's like the brains and she's a thief, you know? I feel like if, you know, it's just like if it was like a D&D game or something, like she's too OP, like she can fight. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. Where instead she has some weaknesses, I find it more interesting if she can't fight, you know?
And I think that's a really good time to talk about the combat in general.
Yeah.
Jory, what did you think about the combat, like fighting? You're big into the Batman stuff, which has very physical action to it.
Yeah.
So watching this, how did you feel about it?
I think it obviously with any anime that deals with fighting, there's going to be crazy moves and crazy cinematography going on that's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to perfectly replicate. But I think with like what they had, they did a really good job with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there wasn't a single fight that made me think of like this episode 7 from Star Wars with the Praetorian Guard fight scene, how it's
That's
like
exactly
so
what I was
silly,
thinking, dude.
and they're like one dude's waiting here to be hit. Basically, they didn't feel like there was any of that going on. Like
There's
it
a
felt
dude
like,
that like was supposed to get hit, but he wasn't, so he just goes,
Right, yeah. It felt like everybody that was there like had their moves, had their purpose, and they got it right. There wasn't any like silly scenes, even in like the background. It didn't feel silly.
Yeah, yeah. I think there was only one move that I was like, I noticed that. That was a little too silly.
Oh yeah.
Is in the first episode, a Marine goes up to Luffy and he grabs him.
Yeah.
and just
throws.
Yeah.
he just kind of throws him.
Yeah.
I was like, why'd he do that?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know, I always think about this scene like a lot, but when Don Krieg's little cannon pops up from behind his shoulder, I thought that was like a living like baby Yoda type animal or something, or robot.
Yeah.
Mr. Robot.
I do like that scene where like there's like a bullet slowdown scene where like Mihawk cuts like 3 bullets.
Oh, just like slice.
I do like how they keep it serious. It's, you know, they're like, let's put the dumb scene in where he like freaking badass, dude. You know.
Dude, hell
That's cool,
yeah.
You know?
I think, honestly, the choreography, like, really goes top tier with the sword fights and the special moves. Like, when Buggy uses the Buggy cannon move where he throws all of his parts around.
Yeah.
They're all flying around.
Chop cannon.
Like a chop cannon. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought that looked super cool.
Dude, like Yellow Devil from Mega Man 2.
Like
yeah. Most random. He's like throwing his parts, and then Luffy's like jumping up and down, running at him.
Yeah.
Like, dude, this is freaking Mega Man.
Dude, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But he's doing that. And one of the... I wasn't huge on a lot of the times that Luffy punched, but the one that I liked the most was when he did the... Is it Gatling or whatever?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because the way that they animated it was very, very snappy. Was him doing like it was a bunch of JoJo punches.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I thought that one looked really good.
Did you do that on Buggy?
That was on Buggy.
Okay, yep.
That was Arlong. That was Arlong.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
it was later on.
Yeah, that's right. That was on Arlong.
Yep. I think Buggy was Bazooka.
Yes,
once he turned small.
Yep.
Which Buggy being small was awesome too.
Wait,
dude, I love that. I love that reference.
Who got hit by the giant foot that went up and then?
That was Arlong.
That was okay. So we got both.
Yeah, they did Gatling twice, maybe on Buggy. I know for sure they did on Arlong too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely on Arlong.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought that just looked the best. But that was definitely something that I noticed in both the Arlong fight and the Buggy fight. Mostly, was I was a lot more into the sword play. Especially with the Mihawk Zoro fight.
Yeah.
That one was super cool, especially when Mihawk pulled out like the little knife. It was like blocking blades. That one, like, yo.
Yeah, the sword fights were sick because like even like they like Zoro didn't even like unsheath his swords. He just beat them all with his scabbards or whatever. His sheaths.
Exactly.
And like it's like they like make it different, you know. It's cool.
How many times did we say throughout the whole like season where we were just like, that was anime as frick?
Yeah,
they
exactly.
actually did a good job.
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, like during the Arlong fight, I just like I can't really, aside from the special moves, I can't really remember too much of the fight. Just a couple like solid punches, like the first two, he missed. And then he got like 1 or 2 good punches, and then it usually cuts to different characters, and then when it cuts back to Luffy, it's like, all right, time for the special move. So I feel like they didn't have as many ideas for normal fist-to-fist combat, but with the sword combat, that was very front and center.
And one other thing to add too with that is like it seemed like all of our main heroes got a lot of cool big moves, but a lot of the bad guys really didn't get anything.
Dude, yeah.
True,
that was,
right.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like Zoro didn't have very much of or no, not Zoro, Arlong.
Dude, Arlong was robbed, bro.
Dude, he got like, I don't recall any move. He did the teeth thing where his teeth grew back.
I'm like, all right, they're setting it up. But
more teeth.
Jordan, Arlong has many moves, right? He has like, all right, he hits Luffy with his sword at some point, right? Luffy breaks that sword like immediately.
Well, he intimidates him with it.
Yeah, all he
like,
does is hold it there.
Yeah.
And then it cracks and breaks, and that's it.
Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, like
never got to
Arlong has a move where he like jumps in the water, then he does like a missile kind of deal, and he flies at you, and it like literally fucks Luffy up so bad. And it's the nose, you know, the saw shark nose kind of deal going in there.
Does he get like impaled with it, or just smack?
I'm pretty sure like a hole shows up. That's what
Yeah.
I remember. I don't.
From what I recall
That's just
too.
like a
Yeah.
hole in his side. He's like, oh my god, it's like
Yep.
brutal. And then the other move
Like, ah!
is Arlong bites him and leaves his shark teeth in Luffy.
Like his whole
Jaw.
jaw
whole set of teeth.
is like still on him.
Yeah.
He like rips.
There
it
was
off.
like 3 or 4 different instances where
Yeah.
Arlong was gonna bite somebody.
Yeah, where
and
he
then
was
like,
about to, and
got
he's like,
stopped
oh.
right beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause
Like, don't even waste your time killing him. Let the sea do it. Like he was like already like
Yeah.
right here, ready to do it.
And you got me.
Oh yeah, that's a better idea.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very
And make sure we leave so we can't see him come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw like Luffy bending Arlong's nose is an iconic moment I wanted.
Yeah,
you know.
because that's the first. That's the very first moment that you see. Like, oh
Yeah,
shoot,
he's
he's
got
a
stronger. Yeah, he's got
like,
a chance.
Luffy's like always going for it consistently. Like
Yeah,
Lauren's like, why are
yeah.
you going for my nose? You'll never break that, you know. But
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he brags about his nose like it's so strong he can't break it.
Yeah.
Then he does, so it's like a whoa, holy
Yeah.
crap. But in this one, yeah, like you said, it's just he misses 2 times, cuts back,
Yep.
comes back to the fight, and then all right, special move. And so I just
Yeah.
don't feel as much of that. Like, oh, he's actually gonna do it. So it's sort of just like, oh, no, he just had to hit him a little harder.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah. That's skipping quite a
Quite
bit.
ahead of
Quite
ourselves.
ahead.
But it's good because I'm on a time limit, so we can skip around like that.
Yeah,
It's
for
cool.
sure. Well, what episodes have we not talked
All right.
about? We haven't talked
can
about
talk
Syrup Village.
Yeah, but
Yes, Syrup Village, guys, has been fixed, dude. I
They
would say
fixed it, yeah.
mostly story-wise.
Yeah.
There's just a few like tiny nitpicks, but
yeah, like the
Which- in
pudding,
general.
the blue pudding.
yeah,
is
blue
a nitpick,
pudding's like kind of like,
Yeah, I did
Um,
like the Meowbin gang reveal. Like, it started hissing. I'm
True.
like, I was like, vampires. I don't know why I thought that.
dude. Yeah, I was like, oh, they were cats.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to tell. When people have sharp teeth and they're hissing in a live action show, I immediately think vampires. I don't know why. It's too much
100%.
CW shows, I guess. You know, like
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
really a vampire.
And one thing to mention before we really get into Syrup Village is, especially in this island, we see a lot more of the Marines.
Yeah. Which
like
there's a lot more Garp and Kobe scenes in general.
Garp and Kobe specifically, yeah. Garp and Kobe are literally doing freaking what's his name? They're doing the Hunter x Hunter scene. where
Shogi. They're playing Shogi.
Yeah, they're playing Shogi.
They're like the Miriam and the blind chick.
Miriam,
When
that's his name. Yeah, Miriam and the blind chick playing the game, like learning life lessons. I'm like, oh, that's someone definitely watched Hunter x Hunter before.
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Like Garp's
yeah.
like, we're gonna be playing for lots of hours. Get ready.
Yeah,
And Kobe's like,
yeah.
oh. Kobe's in his glasses. Dude, the cinematography when you see the chessboard in Kobe's glasses, dude.
Yep.
That was.
It's so cool.
Yo.
So we get a
yeah.
little bit of foresight for where Kobe's character is going to go.
Yep. Here, let's put a pin in the. Well, let's like end
Yeah,
off
yeah.
the Garp and Kobe discussion. Let's just talk about them.
Yeah.
Because Garp shows off his powers that are shown after Ennie's lobby.
Yeah, like we see how powerful Garp is because he just takes cannonballs and just straight up throws them.
Yeah.
Although
Yep.
the anime's cannonballs were bigger. Because these ones were like
I
normal,
forgot about
realistic
that.
cannonballs.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
anime, they're like massive, like 5
Yeah.
bowling balls.
Yeah, he's like
And
pulling
there's-
them, yeah.
Yeah, there's like more of an impact to it, like a thunk.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, alright, you know in the anime cannonball gets thrown, Sanji and Zoro show up, kick it, or slash it, and they go back on the ship?
Yeah.
You can't do that in live action like
No,
that.
no.
So I did like how they showed Luffy doing the balloon move. Whatever. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, stuff like that was super cool.
Yep.
Also, just the ship battles in general, like they really, you don't really see that in the show.
Yeah.
They'll fire the cannons or do a couple things here and there, but we never really see the actual ship action.
Yeah.
At least not that
not
much.
much Navy battles or.
Yeah, and we see that like heavily play out in this one, and
Yep.
I really like that. It's a good change of pace.
What do you think about Garp showing at the end of the show when his final appearance, like the payoff to all the Garp scenes? He shows up. His whole
Yeah.
thing is like, I don't want Luffy to be a pirate. He should have been a Marine, kind of going on. He's not, my son or grandson. But
I get why they put
Yep.
it in the final episode because they're like, okay, to be honest, just in case this is the only season, we have to pay this part off because they're
yeah.
playing off of it so much. So I get that, but I wish it was later.
Yeah,
I think it
agreed.
was too early.
Yep. And like we said, we were hoping Smoker was chasing him, which he's
Yeah,
gonna
because
be
that would make a
introduced
lot
next
more
season,
sense.
Yeah.
And that was what we were teased with at the very end of the show is Smoker.
Yep.
But I love how I looked it up. They haven't confirmed who the actor is yet
Oh,
for
dang.
Smoker, and that's because they did the same thing with
Oh, weird.
I forget which villain they did it with, but it's whenever they're kind of iffy, like we don't know exactly who it's going to be. Okay, Johnny, come over here. Go ahead and put on this jacket. All right, go ahead and take these 2 cigars. We're just going to record you put it in some paper real quick. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. What lines do I have? Shut up.
Be quiet.
Do not say a thing.
Oh, hopefully my office set has some personality. You are in a black room.
Yeah.
No one would be able to tell what you're
Right,
doing.
right. Here's a wanted poster of Luffy. Put it on fire. That's it. All right.
What's my motivation?
You hate that piece of paper.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, all right.
So yeah, the Marines were kind of forced in a little too much, like Kobe. Like I have a Kobe refractory period going on right now. I've seen him a little too much. I'm on cooldown.
Fracture.
Yeah.
Kobe, get away! Don't show up in season 2, and then show up in season 3.
Exactly.
And it's like not with the
He's a
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah, he does.
He's
have,
so
he
freaking
does glow.
cool.
He has a glow up
Yeah,
later.
he has a moment in the anime,
Yeah.
but it's like hundreds of
Helmeppo does.
episodes later.
Helmeppo gets like a visor. Like,
Dude, yeah. No, I'm cool though.
I'm cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, there's nudity in this one. We see
Yeah.
Helmeppo's ass jiggle.
Yeah. Dude.
And then Zora comes in the room and he like covers up his dick.
With
and-
with the bear plushie, I'm like, man, what kind of plushies do they use in the One Piece world? But then I realized they would have to sell the plushies in real life if I recognized them. Like, whoa, that's a Gold Roger ship plushie, you know? Like,
Dude, yeah,
then I would want it, and then they would have to sell it, you know? and all that,
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. But yeah.
I could see it.
Is this a golden? Not golden. This is
Yeah.
a soft bear covering. His wank, very cool.
Yep. And also,
yep.
speaking of ratings, for the first time ever, so this is a TV 14 show.
Yeah.
And same thing from, movies has actually been updated. If you have a PG-13 movie, you can say the F word 2 times.
Oh, okay.
But
So would that mean 2 per episode?
the way that it translates to shows is you can only say it once
The whole
throughout the
series.
entire series.
Yeah.
But they did it. They
did,
did.
yeah.
They did. And the very final episode, we had a Zoro f-bomb, which is not in the show, not in the anime. They like very rarely swear.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
It's when they
You're
free.
I remember Grant
it's when
pointing
they-
it out, but I don't remember the line.
It's when they free Buggy and then he flips him off and runs off. Zoro's
yeah.
like fucking clown.
Oh,
Yep. So that was a surprise to me. I didn't think that they would. I didn't think they'd do that.
No, yeah,
but I
same,
respect it. I respect it. Yeah.
By the way, what do you think of the Straw Hats? How they gel together?
I like them overall. I think the only person I think was a little bit iffy is I didn't get a lot of. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Nami I had an issue with until Arlong Park. Then she was helped a little bit.
Yeah, she's kind of like depressed at the Baratier. Like even Jory, he was like, "What the frick?" You know. Like,
like why is she the way that she is?
So I guess it made sense. Yeah, it made sense.
And same thing with Sanji. I feel like Zoro, Luffy.
Oh yeah, Zoro's good.
Yeah. I think they got the most personality.
Yep.
But all 3 of the others were a little bit lackluster. We got a decent amount of Usopp personality.
Yep.
Sanji, I feel like I didn't get as much as I would have liked. But I do like how much the Baratier was featured in general. That was pretty nice. Like I like how they went back to that with Garp going to the Baratier, and even Arlong being there was really cool.
Dude, yeah.
But
Dude, it gave me like Finding Nemo vibes when he's pulling up with the rap music. It's like, all right, it's like
Dude,
it's like a Pixar film when like the cool cars and cars, with the neon lights. They're pulling.
Bro, yo, Wingo and DJ.
It's just like pulling, driving up to Baratier. Hey, where's my money?
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that.
Yeah, every time Arlong shows up, it's bow, 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 chicka, bow, 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 chicka, bow, bow, bow. But Jory, what did you think? Not knowing these characters whatsoever.
Yeah.
The way that they gelled together. Did you have a favorite character? Do you have a least favorite character?
I think they gel together pretty good. I can definitely tell it's going to be one of those things where it's like, oh, it's a rough beginning, but they're going to be best friends by the end of it. Yeah. I could tell there's going to be some of that going on. Yep. Favorite character?
Yeah, who's my favorite?
It's kind of tough. I honestly, I might have to say Buggy.
Dude, that's fair. That's fair.
He kind of pisses me off because he's annoying, but at the same time, he's just annoying enough that I'm like, yeah, this guy's kind of fun. You know what I mean? Like when he like flips him off and he's like, I'm out of here and leaves. Like I would do that. You know what I mean? So
like, no, guys, I'll really help you out. I'm out.
Yeah, literally, and he just dips. Yeah, I
respect that. I respect that because in the anime, Buggy does have a moment of like, all right, I got this. I'll be the hero. It's for his own selfish reasons. But I'm glad they didn't pull that so early in the beginning because it's like he still barely knows him. Yeah. So it's like, why would he do that? He has no benefit to fighting. So
yeah, Buggy was awesome in this show. In terms of like
least favorite, I'd probably honestly say Nami.
I think that
just because
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair. Like even kind of brought it up. I was like, why is she like Raven from Teen Titans? Like the entire like the entire show, she's just like, you guys are the worst. You know,
like I get that she's pissed off about Arlong taking over her village and all that stuff, but it definitely felt like, man, you're taking it out on all the wrong people.
It literally just seemed like Luffy picked up Mandy from Billy and Mandy and brought her on a ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
You have no idea that she's actually like struggling with things until like the end of it, but which makes it make sense. But it's like,
was her acting good? I don't know.
I thought so. I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's just when
I thought she was just very one note.
Yeah. Sure. The acting was good. It's just I didn't like the scene where the anime like Luffy puts a hat on her and she's like, "Help me, Luffy." Like, she like her face is dry and then she turned around and it's wet. I'm like, bro, they just put freaking water on her face. Like
100%.
I don't know. In One Piece, the way people cry in that manga, it's like their whole face is crying. So I want people to be ugly crying in the live-action One Piece.
Like the Arlong part in the anime where she's like stabbing herself and crying. Like, dude, it's like shocking.
This was so shocking.
It is. But what happens afterwards with Luffy putting on the hat is he just slaps the hat on her and he's like, I'm gonna go kick his ass real quick. Like I don't think she has to say help me. I think he just has to do it. I would have taken out that one line. That kind of affected it for me because I'm like, he doesn't need to be asked.
Did she not say "help me, Luffy" in the anime?
I'm pretty sure it was just he slapped the hat on and it was like, he did this to you, huh? I'm gonna go kick his ass. And then he just walks away, and then Nami's just kind of like staring at the ground, and then like looks up at the. Like that, that's the way that I remember. I might be wrong. But I just remember it affecting me more in the anime than it did in this. Maybe because I already know what happens.
Yeah.
But so.
Yeah, and I think on the march to Arlong Park, doesn't she join them too? Halfway through? Okay, no.
She comes in later.
Okay, she just shows up.
Yeah. Well, because the whole town is like, we'll all do it.
Oh, yeah.
And she comes
Evil
with
dies tonight.
Dude, yeah. It's like, no, you will all die.
Arlong dies tonight. Which Arlong Park was lit, by the way. It's like a water park.
Yeah. No, I like the whole design, everything from the sets and all that was so good. So good. I loved all that stuff, but we're running out of time, so I think.
I mean, you guys.
We've gone over.
Speaking of sets, real quick, like the ships, were they real ships or was that CG? Like
Dude,
they looked good.
I know some things like probably like the top of the Mary. Was real.
I'm sure there's a little bit of both going on.
Yeah, and maybe like the Baratier bar, and like the fish mouth or whatever, but probably. Not aside from that, because it looked really good.
Yeah, like if you told me they built like a full-scale replica Going Merry, I would have believed it, because it looked solid. It looked solid.
Seriously. Because I believe the budget was like $10 million an episode. So this whole project cost about $80 million.
60 of that was probably just CGI.
Dude, 100%.
They went hard on it.
They probably spent a good 20 mil just people sitting in the boardroom like... I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, I probably should get going. I mean, you guys can keep going.
Yeah, we'll keep going on it. But Jacob, final thoughts. What did you think?
Final thoughts. Okay, I thought it was solid in the beginning, first couple of episodes. Near the end, it kind of changes the plot, like the Bratier. Sanji doesn't feed Don Krieg, and then it does a whole thing where like, oh, you fed the people, and now we're hostages. Thanks, Sanji. Wow, very cool view.
Yeah, it just
happens. It doesn't do that
very quickly.
Yeah.
Yep. What he does doesn't really matter. Zeph is just immediately when he hears about it, he's just like, "That's good of him."
yeah, that's good.
Like, wait a minute.
Yep. And then the last thing, what do you guys think of the bounties too? By the way, with the bounties flashing in the screen, like
those are really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That
I
was
like
really
that.
cool.
Yeah, they brought the bounties in a little bit. You know,
who slashed? Was it Mihawk that like slashed the paper?
Oh yeah,
that was a really cool one.
That was cool. Yeah,
Don Krieg like grabbed it, like almost like a 3D movie, grabbed it and then, like ripped it. And,
yeah. That's cool.
Those are super cool.
I thought it was good. I mean, the writing was the best part of it. So I was all in. It's good. I mean, the Garp Kobe, maybe the writing isn't good for that. Or like the overall decisions, like let's bring Garp in. Like,
right.
You know,
less of that. Maybe Smoker instead.
Yeah, because like they just want to give the audience a surrogate and Kobe to be in the Marines, so then you kind of learn how the Marines work. When I feel like just cuts the Marines without Kobe. I don't care. We don't need Kobe there.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. I feel like it's a lot cooler when you see like all the admirals talking. Or,
it's more like what?
The people that are higher up. But when I just see Kobe, it's like I don't.
Out of it.
Yeah, like I'm not intimidated by this force yet because I know nothing about the force.
Dude, the 5 elders show up. Hey, 5 elders, how are you doing?
I'm going to stay the night at his house. The elder's house.
But anyway, guys, I gotta get going. Definitely recommend it.
It's been good. Wait,
4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5.
All right, sounds good. Jory, now that Jacob's gone, bro, how shit was this dude?
Every take he had, I wanted to hurt him.
Guys, big reveal. We've been lying up to this point. I wanted to bring harm to him. Oh man, but yeah, I guess just there's not too much more to go off of. But overall, for all the episodes that we watched, what are some remaining thoughts that you got?
Honestly, I don't really know. I will say I'm kind of hooked, not in a sense like don't get too excited now. I'm not gonna like go and I'm not gonna watch like 1,200 episodes of One Piece.
Right.
But like I will, like if we're all gonna get together and watch like what comes after this, like I'm totally for it.
100%.
I definitely want to.
I thought overall it was fantastic. I definitely think that going to someone who's like never seen One Piece before, were there moments where you were like, oh, this is too weird? Or was it like you were like completely on board the whole time? So for people out there who are thinking about watching it and have never done anything with One Piece.
It's one of those things where it's like you obviously have to suspend a little bit of belief,
right.
You know what I mean? Like there's some like overly anime things that happen in this.
It gets wacky. It gets wacky. Yeah.
So it's like if you can get past that, which I'm sure most of you can, if not, that's why you're here.
Right.
But you know, it's like. So it's like if you can get past that, you're gonna have a good time. I was on board through it the whole time. There's some parts where I was, and it's not like it's like the actual like plot. It's just kind of like the writing where I'm like, okay, that didn't really
maybe it's a little too cheesy.
Yeah, exactly.
100%, 100%.
Corny would be the word I'd choose. You know, in some dialogue, but it's like that's you're gonna get
exactly. Yep. Especially because it is a TV-14 show. It's made for an older-ish audience. So there were a few times where I was like, it's almost seems like they were kind of experimenting with like maybe this is made for kids, but we'll go with adults for the most part.
I think it's like they didn't really have a problem walking any lines between like making it childish in a sense, but also adult. I enjoyed it.
No, of course.
I consider myself a child.
Aren't all One Piece fans? Oh man, but overall, I thought it was super good. The only things, I guess, for the conclusion, the things that I would change if I were to go into the writing room and say, don't do this, maybe do this, is like Jacob said earlier, I would take away some of the Garp and Kobe stuff, because
I liked some of it. Some
Yeah.
of it felt good. Like,
Yeah.
Some of it felt like it needed to be there, but a lot of it didn't.
100%. Like when they were playing the game, I liked that
Yeah.
part actually, because it was a really cool way of getting to know both characters. But parts like when they showed up to Spirit Village, like I was like, oh, what's the point? I guess.
Yeah.
I wasn't too big on that.
It did kind of feel like they just showed up coincidentally.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I knew why they were there and how they got there and everything, but it just seemed like, oh, the Marines are
Yeah.
now. You know,
yeah. It's like, all right, cool,
And
sure.
Of course, Kobe's on the front line. They sent him first.
You're right. That was the thing. It's like here we have a cadet that like barely just joined the Marines.
It looks like he's been there for like maybe a month.
Yeah. Because the thing in the anime, not to constantly compare it to the anime, what you kind of have to in this regard, is eventually like 100 episodes later, after Kobe joins the Marines, it does show him again, and he's still like a nerd or whatever. But he's not like in the Marines. He's like a janitor. Like he's mopping floors and stuff.
Which
And-
looked like, based on his character design and thinking in the show,
Yeah.
that's what I would have thought he would be.
Right,
He's like
right.
this frail little person. Like, what's he gonna do?
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if he encounters like Zoro and he's just like,
Exactly.
I'm gonna kill you now. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, nothing. But like, and it's throughout like a bunch of different events that he eventually becomes a Marine, and then only after that point does Garp come up to him and invite him to like be with him, because that does happen, but that's so later on, and I feel like it almost just kind of wasn't earned yet.
That was maybe actually something I should like have brought up earlier. I think, but like the pacing. Was
Yes. Yeah.
Like, it was kind of tough because like I'm like watching it and I'm like piecing it together how they wanted to be pieced together, but I'm also hearing you guys say like, oh, that's different. You know, continuity issues
Right,
are
right.
They exist, but it seems like they're for the better
Yes.
in pretty much every case.
Like one of my favorite examples of fixing pacing issues is in the Dragon Ball movie Path to Power, because it is literally the first 3 seasons of the original Dragon Ball made into a movie. And what they do for a lot of it is they skip all of the things that can be cut. Like, remember the tower that's like 20 episodes long? You know, there's a freaking maze and going up all these floors super slowly. In the movie, he just runs up the tower. Like the side of the tower, like the building itself.
The
He just
exterior of it
scales it. I'm like, that's perfect. And this one had a lot of moments like that where I'm like, thank you.
Right.
Because in Orange Town, where Buggy was at, there's a dog, and they have this whole like stupid side story about like there was this really sad dog, and the store burnt down, and it's standing in front of the store because the owner is dead, but the dog is not dead. So now. Yeah, dude, yeah, exactly. So he's just kind of like chilling there, and then now there's no dog, and I'm like, because it's not needed.
He was there.
The dog?
Yeah, when they freed all of the townspeople.
Oh, I must have
They,
missed
like, had
that.
this really low angle shot on the
Yeah.
ground of the dog running beside the mayor.
Oh,
But that was literally it.
Yeah,
So it's
again,
like-
perfect,
Yeah,
perfect.
like
You can have the dog,
right,
but
like fans like you guys were like, oh, there's the dog. You know what I mean? But it's
Exactly.
like, it was for maybe 2 seconds.
yep, 100%. And yeah, just everything with the pacing, where everything was placed in general, in new spaces. Like, because originally the guy that Mihawk fights, you know, has the gun coming out of his back. That's who goes to the Baratier, and he's the one that Luffy defeats him. And then Mihawk just kind of shows up for the hell of it. It is a really cool scene because they're constantly talking about like this ancient warrior freaking sliced our ships in half. We don't know why. And then he just comes rolling up on a raft, just chilling. And then he just slices their ship in half again. They're like, why? He's like, because you woke me from my nap.
He did say that.
He did.
say that.
And we do have a really cool, the Zoro and Mihawk fight and all that. So, all of the most important elements are still there. So, I really like a lot of where the anime is going, and or not the anime, the show. And I do really hope that they keep going with it. So, Yo, Jacob, welcome back.
What's up, guys?
Yo,
I'm back.
Guest appearance.
bro, what the frick are you doing
Yo,
back
hey,
here,
guys,
bro?
listen,
Yo,
I'll be-
bro, sit down, dude.
No, I'll give him headphones.
Yeah, all right.
Alright, see you guys.
Yeah, see you, dude. Give it a second so I can cut it off. And so finally, guys, we were rudely interrupted by Jacob. That son of a bitch. But finally, guys, I'll be right back. But let me just hold my notes real quick. Might as well. Okay, awesome. Jory, any final notes for our lovely viewers? We hit the nail on this coffin show. It is dead in the ground. No, no, I quite liked it. I really do hope for a season 2. But thank you guys so much for watching. Final score, Jory. I'm going to stick with the 4 out of 5. Guys, I think it's a definitive 4 out of 5. Ignore Jacob's 4.5.
Insignificant, irrelevant, doesn't matter.
Doesn't even matter. It was a nothing score. Nothing. So we shall see you guys on the next episode of Grand Guy Reviews. Check us next time for more very cool content. See ya.